One time, we successfully mated a bulldog with a Shih Tzu.
Really? That's weird.
Yeah, we called it a bullshit.
Okay, is this guy just making it up as he goes? Yep. Is it all BS? Yep. Here's Big Nate with some more BS, because it's BSing with Big Nate.
renewed Vision Revision right here on another edition of BS and with Big Nate. I am joined by Rob. You may recognize Rob. Of course, I had the privilege of talking to him back when we were chatting with the City. And Rob, first of all, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me again. It's a pleasure. It was fun.
So yeah, I mean, hey, I didn't scare you away. So that's something. This track is something that's incredibly personal to you, as well as the video. So I kind of want to talk about it. I think that's something that's cathartic for a lot of people, and I think that's kind of why the track came out. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but first and foremost, I want to get the background on that song. So, for you,
to keep it short and simple, so a difference between a Satiety and Life Renewed is that Life Renewed is my personal solo project where I do a lot of production myself. So this song was recorded, tracked, mixed, and mastered by myself, with the exception of one of the vocalists that tracked his vocals himself and sent the files to me. So it's got that personal edge, being that it's personal in the sense of I am not outsourcing what I do. It's all me, the imagery and marketing and things like that. This song, though, I guess, there's a lot with this song, so it just depends if you want to be a little more specific on things, I can give you more details, but because this song has been waiting for 7 years to be released. So there's a lot of story behind it.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm, because of course there is the video that everyone should pause right now and go check out the video for Vision Revision, but I do kind of want your background on everything going on, because I know there's a story there that kind of caused the song to be written, and kind of from, I mean, I didn't know it was like you said, 7 years in the making, but so like what is the story?
So I'm someone that has struggled, that have mental health struggles throughout most of my life, and it was one of those things that as music, a lot of us find healing and commonality with the music industry and music and the arts. So for me, I wanted to pursue my own music, and a lot of it was that in 2013 I was in my first, like, I would guess, big boy project, I want to say. I mean, I've done high school stuff, but it was the first project where I really, we tried touring and did all that, and it collapsed. So I was sort of in like am I done with music? And I decided, all right, I'm going to actually record myself and just, I'll learn how to record and, put my own stuff out, and end up being where I'd put out stuff on SoundCloud just as demos and stuff, and people would like what I played and would pick me up for projects. So it kept being postponed and postponed. But the story of the song itself, so in that incident in 2013, that honestly, it's a little behind the scenes that I haven't really shared. The same person in that video, Josiah Sargent, that reacted that is the same person who did it in real life. So this is a true story in the sense that I actually lived through that. He actually lived through that with me, and we decided to relive and recall that same experience. And that was the experience that ultimately ended the band I was in 2013. So I took it upon myself where, for me, I don't have an it factor. I'm not gonna, I'm not like AC/DC or Guns N' Roses where I have that it factor and I'm gonna get big and huge. So I wanted to be genuine and real and authentic with how I present my music. And because it's just, to me, like, I always tell people that music is going to be the most vulnerable and most real version of me. So it's like I'm naked when I release music, whatever avenue I release music through. So being that I've watched over the years in my experience as a musician in social media where a lot of people would silence me talking about my mental health struggles, I felt that, everyone talks about mental health, but I don't think people grasp the reality. Some people may never have those struggles, and some people may go completely off the deep end, and there really is anything and everything in between. So I wanted to say, you know what, I'm going to put my heart on my sleeve to share this video, to share the message of the song, to sort of really hit home and realize this is a real thing. This is a real, it's real because I experienced it, but it's also real because there's a lot of people we don't know what they're going through in their personal lives. And there's a lot with the song, I could pick it apart and it would be another hour, but I really wanted to sort of highlight things that people go through, sit at home drinking, talking about it on Facebook. You'll see me texting on Facebook, venting out my feelings on Facebook, which, people do that. People will, dabble around with self-harm or drug addiction and alcoholism. So anything to mask the pain that we're experiencing in our lives. And even so much to where I showed the video clips where I'm like working, which is what I do for a living. I actually was like just kind of reliving that in a way, struggling in their own thoughts with the past. And, you're working through everyday life and you're overworked and burdened. And then you're just trying to make the most out of your life, overcoming those, the past. I always tell people that the aftermath of the events are usually the hardest part, reliving, like living with what you've done or what you've been through, and sort of just coming to getting closure and peace with it all. So this whole song was a journey, and it took about 3 years to do the video, believe it or not. I started in 2018 with the video. If you've heard any of the CAT's music, the first song, Losing Myself, the filmographer, Jaden Frost from JFP Studios, he did that video as well. So personal story with him as well. We connected on the commonality of those similar struggles. I started the gray scenes in the video, or when we started in 2018, where we wanted to sort of like take the fact that we filmed on 2 different cameras, 2 different areas, 2 different parts of our lives, and sort of like the black and white was like the memories, like almost reliving black and white, the memories of it. And that was the traumatic experiences, the event, and things like that. But the scenes in color were filmed this year, where we, are saying, okay, we're reflecting on that stuff that I struggle with, that's memories, but I still have burdens and I still have my, I go back into that place, if you will. And the whole end of the song, the end of the video is sort of tying in, I can overcome that. I'm doing what I love. I'm in my room, I'm playing guitar, and I find a way to find peace and comfort through music and what I love, even though I've overcome a lot. So
yeah, and I think that there are a couple things you said that I kind of want to pick apart and talk about. And the first and foremost, my biggest takeaway though is that video, and you mentioned it, and I'll go more into it later, but everything is very raw and absolutely kind of exactly what you experienced, and it's very open, kind of just I wear my heart on my sleeve, like you said, and it's just like, what is that like revisiting?
To be honest, it's taken me probably until recently to sort of wind myself back. It's kind of hard to sort of say, I'm going to share one of the darkest times of my life to the world. But I feel like at the same time, and if I had to be honest, it's been really scary because I've always had some project to work through. And so like I play guitar through CAT. So I'm sort of in the back burner a little bit. And I've always wanted to be in the front because I have a voice and I want to share that. But I felt like when I did, I got criticism. So that was half of the other reason why I didn't put my music out for a long time, is because I didn't want people to say, oh, the mix is terrible or the songwriting's terrible, because it's just me. It's solo. It's no one else other than the guest features. Like, it's just me. I can't hide behind another project or another member. It's so,
yeah, and that's
releasing
a lot of
this
pressure.
Yeah, so releasing my own music, and I had to come to terms where it's like, okay, the CAT sounds sonically way better, musically it's way better, but this is 100% me. So if people don't like it, then they just don't like me. So I just was like, you know what, I'm going to put it out there, and then I'm going to put out a real story and a real event. And I guess I didn't realize that, now that I pay attention to what the world says, the whole like appreciation month and things like that, apparently September was Suicide Awareness Month. I had no clue. So releasing this on August 31st, and then the next day seeing people talking about that, I'm like, did I time this like on accident at the right time? But I mean, I think for me, another thing is, I've lost a couple of friends due to the pandemic. They took their own life, and I've had people struggle with depression and just being in a dark place through all of this. And I was like, okay, now's the time. We're going to end up all figuring out how to readjust to life one way or another. So some of us may have struggled with the same thing, even in this time, the X amount of months. So I felt like now's the time to address it. And to be honest, it's been really difficult. because it's like, I don't know what people think, because I think people don't know what to say to this.
All right, hell, I'll give it a go. I think it's important. I think it is incredibly important. And you mentioned something, previously, that people can say they understand, but they don't necessarily understand. It's the same equivalent to, like, I remember when everyone was wearing a yellow Live Strong bracelet. And until you've lived that moment, until you've gotten that call, until you've experienced, kind of been right there at ground zero, if you were, of everything that's happening, you truly don't know. You can't understand the impact. And I think that's a great thing that the video does, is it shares a lot of, I mean, you feel it. You feel everything. I mean, obviously not everything, but you do get a much more accurate picture of everything that's potentially going on. So I think it's very important. And I think with everything that's been going on the last year and a half, I think we're coming pretty damn close to 2 years. It's important that this is out there now, and that people know that there are these struggles going on, and becoming more and more aware of it. And I did not know September was Suicide Prevention Awareness Month either. That's something that's kind of shocking to me and could use more attention and more to the forefront. So I'm very glad that we're kind of getting you on under the wire, as it were.
Right.
I do also want to talk about, you kind of have this, like you said, everyone says it. It's, you are your own harshest critic. Well, if I'm happy, I may go listen to like a perfectly produced track. But if I'm angry, upset, sad, I want something that's more raw. Like, do you listen to Rage when you're happy, or do you listen to Rage when you're mad?
Right, exactly. I felt like there was a partial side to and again, this might come with some sort of response to, in the day and age in metal, a lot of people are trying to have the most perfect sounding records. And I come from the Kill Switch Engage era of like metalcore. So like Alive or Just Breathing 20 years ago, to me, is amazing. We're almost 20 years on that record. It came out in 2002. And to me, it was just raw. It was genuine. You enjoyed the song, not how sonically pleasing it was. And so, sure, I want to pursue being a better producer, but my focus is on the songwriting. My focus on composition and song structure. And, sure, people are not going to listen to this because it's the best sounding song. And I think because of the subject matter in the video, people don't really know how to. It's not radio friendly. It's not anything like that. But I've had people say, this song has touched people, it's helped people, and the song is a story. And I did that on purpose. Sometimes I do too much. It's the guitarist in me that wants to write riffs after riff after riff. But I wanted this song for the sake of the story, the sake of the message. I wanted this to be like an all-in-one album in a way, in a song, a journey. And that's why I wrote it the way I did, where it does have an intro, it does have an outro, but it doesn't sound misplaced. It all flows together. I'm very proud of the song structure of the song. Maybe one of my favorites I've ever done in my career. But I definitely, like, everything's been thought out. I mean, I've had 7 years. I hope it is thought out. I definitely thought out every single aspect to it. I wanted to feel like it was a band, even though it's myself. I wanted this to sound raw, but not like garage band. I didn't want this to be too pretty, because this is, not a pretty subject.
Yeah, it's not a pretty subject.
And one of the things about it is, like, I want people to feel it. And that's what was more important. And if people might be, desensitized to the quality compared to, you have bands like Spirit Box that their record is super sonically perfect. And that's great. And if people feel that, they feel that. But in this case, I want to say, I want you to feel the song for what it is, and not worry about if it's whatever polished, if you will. And I wanted to sort of, speak against, in my own way, saying, this song, to me, I'm proud of the song structure. I'm proud that the drums sound like live, real drums. I've had people ask me if they're real drums. I'm like, no, it's not. So that's a plus for me, because, I think these days people are starting to tell. I think it's just, I wanted to really take a stab at, it may not be perfect, but it's real and honest and genuine. And I think this song will be a song that people can go back to years from now. And I want this song to be the song that, like, if I were to pass on tomorrow, this is the song I want to be known for in my life.
Well, first and foremost, let's very much so wish and hope and we don't want that to happen. However, I
Right.
do think this is very much so, like I said, it's very important. Like you said, may not be sonically perfect, but there is beauty in those imperfections, and it's very much sincere and off the cuff and from the heart. And I think what you have here, honestly, again, you can listen to the track all day. The video tells the full story. As you guys are kind of calling it, it's a short music film, and I think it needs to be watched. I think there's a lot of impact, and if you are struggling with some things, it's not. It may seem like the hardest thing in the world, but it may be the most important thing in the world is to reach out and get help and kind of be prepared to face your demons and battle things. I do want to ask, kind of focus on more happier things and towards the future is
Right.
what's next for Life Renewed?
So I'm currently in production with my next song. So it's funny. I do want to say quickly, you do mention the Ground Zero part, which was kind of cool that you said that, because this is part of an EP concept called Launching from Ground Zero. So it's funny that you would say that. And this is part of that EP. I'm working on the third song, and then I'll be dropping the album in January. The EP of it. So I have a third song coming out in November, and then I'm going to drop the rest of the EP, which is another 4 songs, in January. Just definitely keeping focused with trying to get the songs going. I don't think anything is going to be as impactful as this song, but I think like the next one, a little more back to basics in the sense of like the content is more the faith relationship, struggling with like morality and the journey of life. And that's what the whole EP concept is. Every song is a different style of sorts. Every song is a different emotion. Maybe I wanted this to be something where it was a journey as an EP, and each song would be a journey in itself.
Yeah.
Every song. That's why this song is called Vision Revision. It's sort of like looking 2 sides of the same coin, and every song sort of has that to a degree. Even the single last, and a couple of songs
And
don't
the
have
video
that.
has that as well too.
Yes,
Like it's
and
very much. I like that.
so it definitely was one of those things. Consciously, I want to have this journey, and every song has a guest feature or guest features. This song didn't have me on it. The last song, the debut single, did. So every song's going to have 2 or 3 guest features. The next song has me and 2 of my friends. So I wanted to sort of like feel like it's me, but at the same time, not just 100% me. I wanted people to share their voice and share the vision of what I'm doing and share their perspective, and not just my own, So there's definitely a special EP because it's very collaborative in that sense, lyrically and message wise. And being from a man that I do consider myself a man of faith, it's not something that I always talk about because I'd rather be the music stand on its own.
Yeah.
And if you feel it, you feel it, and you don't, you don't. But that's every person feels differently. So I don't want to shove that down anyone's throat. I'm just here to have open conversations if it is something that that wants to be expressed. But this is a journey that I plan to finish and have released in January. And this EP may be just a solo thing. I might put out some singles here and there when I write conceptually under the same sort of umbrella. But my main focus is getting this EP out amongst, finishing up all the different content with it. I got some guitar playthroughs and things like that. I think I'm going to be doing a good, usually what I do for every single release, I do like a cash giveaway where I talk about the song, review some friends bands and stuff like that. Not signed bands, but like the locals and things like that. I don't want to put it that way, but it's the best way to express it. And then do like a cash giveaway where I perform a live stream of me performing the song. So I'm going to be doing another one of those probably mid-October. I'm in the middle of doing stuff with a CAT, so that stuff's on pause. So I'm just going to do that. I'm probably going to have, mainly because the songs that I am releasing are very guitar centric. They're very heavily guitar driven. Some of the other ones aren't as much, which will be on the rest of the EP. And, being a guitarist, people are here for the riffs. And I like riff salad. The next song is definitely riff salad for me. It's just lots of riffs, and I think people will enjoy it if they enjoy some nice feeling, nice groovy, but also like, yeah, it's not the same riff over and over. I think I have like 26 different riffs in the song.
Ooh.
So I love riffs. So, and I think also as a metalcore, whatever genre you want to call it, but metalcore musician, I missed that about, like I was saying before about Killswitch Engage, the riff mattered. And I think with the newer modern metalcore, the riffs don't matter. And that's cool. But I wanted to bring it back to basics.
Yeah.
If you want a polished record, there's plenty of them out there. I'm not. I'm here. You're here for the riffs. I'm here to shred, and let's just enjoy the tasty riffs together. So,
damn it, I can't think of a better way to end it than that exact statement. Life renewed. Give them some love on Facebook. I will be reaching out to chat with you again come November, that next single release date, and we'll be talking again. Rob, thank you so much for joining me. Of course, Vision Revision out now. Check out the video. I implore you. It may not be the happiest 5 minutes or so of your day, but it's important. Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.